Jiri Prochazka reveals he accidentally cut 5 more pounds than needed for Jamahal Hill fight. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, former UFC light heavyweight champ opened up about a sauna mishap during his UFC 311 weight cut. Scheduled to face Jamahal Hill, the Czech fighter pushed himself too far, accidentally cutting too much weight and dropping to 200 pounds instead of the 206-pound limit. Despite the grueling cut, Prochazka didn't let it affect his performance, dominating Hill with a masterful striking display and knocking him out in the 3rd round. Jiri reflected on the challenging weight cut with Rogan, revealing that he tried to conceal the issue by drinking water before stepping on the scales. Quote, "When I went to the sauna the night before the weigh-ins, I thought to myself, I'll do my best, but I ended up spending 2 hours in there. The second day after that, I went to do the weight and I was like 200 pounds and I'm fighting in 206. I was the only guy in the weigh-ins trying to hide it by drinking 1 liter of water." End quote. Jiri also spoke on the potential Khalil Rountree matchup, and he didn't hold back. He made it clear he doesn't see Rountree as a serious threat. Speaking to Blessed MMA, Jiri brushed off the idea of facing Rountree, calling him a great warrior, but dismissing him as anything resembling a real challenge. With only Magomed Ankalaev ahead of him and set to face Alex Pereira at UFC 313, Jiri seems focused on more worthy opponents. As for Rountree, coming off a knockout loss to Pereira, his stock in Prochazka's eyes is barely worth mentioning. Quote, "Khalil Rountree is a great warrior. That would be a great fight, but I don't see him as a true challenge." End quote. Michael Chandler broke down the potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, offering his perspective on how the two match up. Chandler gave Topuria credit for staying calm and composed in the cage, noting that he doesn't rush things or get emotional during fights. Instead, El Matador is patient, waiting for the perfect moment to land that one precise knockout blow. He doesn't throw too many punches or overextend himself. His goal is always to make each shot count. However, Chandler also pointed out that Makhachev's size and conditioning could be a problem if the fight goes into the later rounds. While Ilia's technique and ability to find that clean shot are impressive, Makhachev's physicality and endurance would likely give him the edge as the fight drags on. According to Chandler, Islam's size and strength would allow him to control the later rounds and potentially wear Topuria down. Ultimately, Chandler believes if the fight goes past 3 rounds, the lightweight champ would have the advantage, thanks to his superior conditioning and ability to grind through tough stretches.
Ilia Topuria may be one of my favorite guys to watch stylistically. His poise, how he doesn't force things. I think Ilia does a really good job of trying to win by one, not forcing anything, not getting outside of himself, not getting emotional, not pushing too hard, also not taking his foot off the gas too much. He's just right there in the middle until he lands the big knockout punch. I didn't think he was going to knock Max Holloway out, and he did. So I think he could catch Islam, but if that fight goes anything past 15 minutes, I think Islam beats him handedly, just because Islam is a large 155er, and I don't think Ilia is that big for 145. But like I said, ton of respect for both of those guys, especially Ilia Topuria, because I've watched a lot of his fights and studied him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's big, and he's tall. He's got the length. So you got to have that length. You got to have that reach.
Usman Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes delivered a brutal back-and-forth war in the main event of PFL's debut show in Dubai, with many already labeling it a Fight of the Year contender. The heated build-up promised fireworks, and the bout didn't disappoint. While Usman struggled to secure takedowns early on, he applied enough pressure throughout the fight to edge out Hughes and secure a majority decision victory after one judge scored the contest a draw. Immediately after the results were in, Hughes made his case for a rematch and even invited the Nurmagomedov family to Ireland to do it in Belfast. Despite calls for an immediate rematch in Hughes' home country of Ireland, the lightweight champion isn't enthusiastic about the idea. Nurmagomedov, who had Islam Makhachev and Khabib in his corner, believes Hughes was fast-tracked to a title shot and must now prove himself by winning at least 3 to 5 fights to earn another chance. Quote, "Paul Hughes, all my respect to this guy. For a rematch, he has to win a couple, maybe 3, 4, or 5 fights in Bellator. He had only 2 fights and they gave him a title shot. Though Hughes managed to make the champion look vulnerable for the first time in his career, it wasn't enough to secure the upset. Now, with Hughes campaigning for a rematch in Belfast, the champion's refusal to grant it leaves the Irishman with a long road back to title contention. Quote, "I think if he will go to the tournament for $500,000, he 100% has a chance to take this belt, and then we can talk about a rematch." When asked if he would be willing to go to Belfast, he replied, "No, brother, I want to take my time and will enjoy."
Yeah, great sport, bro. Great fight, great atmosphere, very special.
Honestly, to be honest, in Dubai, great atmosphere. I hope next time we will fight same event,
But in Belfast. Belfast.
No,
Yeah,
in
Belfast,
Dubai,
come on.
No, in Dubai, okay. Brother, all the best.
Thank you.
See you fight.
Guys, good night.
See you, Mike. Brother, see you. Thank you, guys.
Conor McGregor ripped into the entire Nurmagomedov family after watching his countrymen suffer a first defeat under the PFL banner. Tremendous fight and performance. Easy win for Hughes, he dominated that fight. And Usman, exactly what it says on the tin, a Nurmagomedov. Runner, sprinter, bolter, scarper, scurrying fighter. The Nurmagomedovs are not fighters. They are the most non-fighting fighters out of Dagestan in all time. Run away around the cage and shoot ass bitches. Dagestan is better than the Nurmagomedovs, and that is a fact. A couple of rounds in the Nurmagomedov-Hughes fight were razor close, creating tension in Usman's corner. UFC Hall of Famer Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was part of Usman's corner, found it particularly hard to contain his emotions. In a video captured by the Russian media channel Ushateka, Khabib is seen visibly frustrated and losing his composure as Usman dropped those rounds. The footage offers a rare glimpse into the emotional investment and pressure Khabib feels when guiding his family members in high-stakes bouts. As we are rolling the clip of Khabib's reaction, let's also discuss what the fans thought of this fight. The MMA community had mixed reactions to the scorecards following Usman Nurmagomedov's narrow win over Paul Hughes. Some fans strongly disagreed with the decision, expressing frustration over what they felt was a biased result. "I had Hughes winning," one fan stated, claiming that the judges favored Usman's name rather than his actual performance. Another user wrote, "Paul Hughes only getting a 46 on 2 of the scorecards makes zero sense. We need better MMA judging. It's getting ridiculous." A third fan expressed disbelief, saying, "I legit don't see a way Usman won 4 rounds." Israel Adesanya wants to train with Alex Pereira one day. Izzy believes it's only a matter of time before he trains alongside his former rival. Despite their intense history in the ring and the Octagon, having fought 4 times in kickboxing and MMA, Adesanya doesn't expect to face Pereira again. While Pereira holds a 3-1 advantage in their series, Adesanya got the final word with a stunning knockout in their last UFC encounter. Both fighters have displayed mutual respect for each other, often joking about how they seem to keep running into one another. This raised the possibility that they might one day join forces in an MMA gym. Recently, Adesanya began training alongside Robert Whittaker, a former adversary, and their camaraderie has grown. When asked by MMA Fightin' if he could see a similar scenario unfolding with Pereira, Izzy seemed open to the idea, suggesting that collaboration between them could be in the future. Quote, "Yeah, definitely down the road. Me and Alex, I've already said I got what I wanted from that fight. I think the MMA world just gets greedy and tries to ruin a good thing because they want more, never knowing when to quit. That's why you shouldn't gamble. But yeah, eventually it will. But right now, it's not that time. He lives so far away, the opportunity hasn't arisen. We still have guys like Carlos Ulberg in the trenches, working hard, getting ready for his next fight so he can become a #1 contender. I'll always respect Alex. We already understood this, and we've already shared this with each other. So yeah, it will happen one day. Who knows when?" End quote. That's it for today from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.